Scazzy and Mo are in the villa.
Woohoo! No, you
Okay,
cannot run out
a
in
unicorn.
front of 80,000 people with a unicorn on your shirt.
A wallaby is a small kangaroo.
Sorry,
why
what?
would you choose that? If you could have a unicorn and a dragon, then why would you not?
I have no idea where we're even going at this point.
Who am I, Mo?
Oh, I don't know.
Scaz.
Do you think it's South African?
In South African, yes, I do.
Of course she does. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that sound...
No.
If you had to put Where's Wally on an audiobook, I'm not sure what would be in there.
Dog. Valid striped shirt. Wally! Have you ever worked with kids?
Do you think that I have ever worked with kids?
You think you can play an international fullback at this day and age without the ability to kick the ball?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
No, I
Kick on the next
want an
phase.
honest answer.
Kick on the next phase. No, I do understand what you're saying. However,
Chinos.
I was like,
Why is that so funny?
We got one.
Here we go. We're back again. Episode 6 of Season 5 of The Good, The Scaz and Rugby, brought to you by our good friends at Vodafone. Scazzy and Mo are in the villa.
Woohoo! Cough.
And
oh,
it's
right on
got
cue,
the
wasn't
cough.
it? Wasn't that nice?
I feel like the cough is even more distinct than the voice.
Do you know what it is? I'm not remotely ill at all anymore.
Sounds it.
Yeah, no, I know. But I just can't get rid of the cough.
Do you know that I have a friend who has said to me before that some people develop cough tics?
Yeah, like a habit.
Yeah.
So we are.
Do you do it on the TV?
I do it when I've got to.
When the habit comes.
No, when
When the red
when
light
I
goes
can't
on.
when I can't if I sit all day and don't speak to anyone, I probably barely cough.
Oh, that's sad.
But if I change environment, this is getting kind of killer whale territory now. But if you change environment, hot, cold, windy, not windy, like that induces it, you know?
Do people know about the killer whales? Did Shira cut all of them out?
Really don't think we need to go there again.
I'm not sure what just happened. Was I here for that?
So remember, I went through a phase where I kept talking about the killer whales.
Elma spent about 10 minutes explaining a killer whale story to us.
And then Shira kept cutting it out of the episodes.
Savage. That was like the post office, but people
It's a bit
really
like
loved
the
that.
post office. Yeah. But I think people would have loved the killer whale stories. DM me on Instagram if you want the killer whale
You
story.
love a DM.
I'll do a story.
Yeah.
I'll do it on my own platforms. It's okay. We don't have to
Please
waste
do.
everyone's time with this.
How are you, Elma?
I'm well, thank you. I listened to the England game on the TV. So I saw that on the radio. I saw that you were on the TV, but I missed that completely.
Most people did.
Oh,
To be
why?
fair. Oh no, not anything bad, but it was like pre-game, so
Oh.
lots of people only tune in for the game, don't they?
But the picture that I saw looked very nice.
Thank you. Is that the one I posted?
You've got a glow up at the
Yes.
minute, haven't you?
Yeah, she's
Getting
really
all over. Yeah, like
Mm.
today, looking great.
Yeah, she's wearing a little bronzer today. She's looking so nice.
Just a bit of tinted face cream, I'll be honest.
Shame
Well-
about that habit cough, but other than that.
Other than that, you fly in.
So I was listening to the game on the radio, and I have to say, Chris Jones from the BBC did such a sensational job. Producer Shara happened to also be listening to the game on the radio, and I was busy painting. This is my excuse, renovation Barbie over here. And I just felt like I was there. It was so captivating, excellent entertainment, especially since I genuinely didn't really have a preference for who won. Like, I didn't watch it feeling like I really want
Stop
one or the
pretending
other
that you
team.
haven't weed recently.
Yeah.
Well, for
in
you
inverted
guys,
commas.
for the red roses, not the boy roses.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Oh,
I'm-
really?
The boy roses.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the boy roses yet, but I
Okay.
like the red roses. But it's
Fair
maybe because I know you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's always better when you know someone.
And I want you to win, but I don't know about the boy roses.
Fair.
I like
The game was mega though.
what was the atmosphere very
Yeah,
intense.
the atmosphere was really cool. People always say, don't they, oh, Twickenham feels this today, or the Allianz Stadium feels this today, or that today. And sometimes I'm a bit like, yeah, all right. But I genuinely thought there was like a real sense of excitement and anticipation before the game. Then obviously the game will always ebb and flow. I thought the PA system with the referee coming out loud to the world,
Yeah,
I
that
was
was so
wondering
I thought
about
that was
that.
brilliant.
Yes, so that wasn't just on radio. You guys got that in venue.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So it plays out to the whole stand basically.
And everyone was like erupting on the decisions as well, weren't
So
they?
obviously normally when replays get played on the TV and the TMO and ref are talking to each other, the crowd are just doing their own thing
Yeah.
because they actually have no idea what the conversations are. Whereas obviously they just completely fell silent while obviously the communication is being played out to them. And then obviously the replays play, and then the referee will be like, "Yep, so I'm on penalty," and then everyone just goes, "Yeah," or like, so that you still get the reaction, but you also get obviously the context as to why.
So cool.
Yeah,
How did they not win that?
It's a good question, isn't it?
As an athlete, when you watch that, why are you putting your face like that, Mo?
Because it's just hard, isn't it?
Ooh.
I feel for him.
Whoa.
Brutal.
Just
Like from 8 points up as well. I've heard a bit of context around like it looked as though this was Matt Dawson as well, post whistle, but saying that with a drop goal, everyone's got to do their role, and it was almost like the forwards were just like waiting. Everyone was looking at George Ford like, "Are you going to hit the drop goal yet?" Rather than like gaining the momentum, like taking on the line, like actually carrying and getting New Zealand on the back foot, which massively impacts the amount of people that can actually get after the drop goal. There's so many things in it. Like I don't think it comes down to one thing, but yeah, when you look at that picture, like brutal.
Ouchies.
really rough.
No one's going to
Especially
feel it
after
more
the
than
summer
boys
as well,
will.
because arguably they probably should have won at least one in the summer.
Yeah.
Against New Zealand. So
And then having the energy and the roar of the crowd at
Yeah.
your home venue packed out.
Yeah.
And I still said to someone before, so I did an event with the All Blacks just literally 12 hours after they landed.
The Adidas shop, were you?
Yeah.
Did you get any
Yeah, I
good
saw
freebies?
that.
I see some gazelles on your
Yes,
feet.
yes.
Yeah, are they new?
Nice.
I was promptly given a pair of black on brand shoes because I was not wearing on brand shoes.
Did you not wear on-brand shoes on purpose? Did you understand what you were doing?
I was wearing
There's
the
no
right
flies on you, I
brand.
tell
I just
you.
wasn't wearing the right color, you see,
Oh,
because
okay.
they would like it to be all of the dark, the black.
Oh, nice.
So I did this
Just matched our long
Q&A
black socks with it as well.
Yeah,
with my
so-
kitty kit on it.
Honest to God.
Of
Didn't see that
course.
earlier.
So I turned up to that All Blacks event, very excited to see a lot of the people who work in the machine again, because I worked with them during the Rugby World Cup last year. But I haven't felt compelled during the Rugby Championship recently, when I watched the All Blacks, to feel like this is a team coming into this Autumn Nation series on the trot, like huge momentum, ready to go dominate. They have been a little hot and cold. So really thought this was one for England to grab and to really kick their campaign or this series off on a high note. 22-24, however, unfortunate. Can we talk about the boy roses and what we call them? Because I have seen in, I think it was The Sun, they call them the red rose. So they'll in the match report
Singular.
talk about England and then refer to the team as, and then the red rose faltered. I have questions and concerns at The Sun about
What,
what
so
is,
they've dropped the S and that means
what is
male
going on.
version.
Now you've dropped the S and suddenly when it's singular, it's male. Also, I know that a lot of these things are very much made up. So like, I mean, what is a springbok even? It's a tiny jumpy buck that isn't very remarkable. I mean, why did we choose that? No one knows. So all of these things are made up fictions.
Put
anyway.
that on the meme.
Can we make up a name for the men? What did you say?
So put that on the meme.
Put that on the meme.
Yeah.
What is a springbok even?
Yeah. You would be slated.
There is a tiny little buck and it is a springbok, but I mean, why would we choose that? It gets chowed by lions like every day of the week. It's
If
a
you
snack.
could pick them, what would it be?
It's an hors d'oeuvre. So I really like that
Don't know what that
Wales
is.
has a dragon. If I was Wales, I wouldn't have the feathers on my logo. I would go full wings on a beast. Hello.
Dragon.
So you want something like more of a
Well, I mean,
fictional.
what do we call the men's England team? Because they can't just be England, because you guys are England as well. When people say England, then I really resent the fact that people then assume you talk about the men when red roses refer to the women. So I think the men needs to be like the thorns.
Probably slightly negative connotations,
stalks.
though, wasn't there?
The stalks?
stalks.
Sorry, I was just thinking.
Just
prickly-
England men?
The England, what? England men.
England men?
That's very generic. Like the black ferns. I really
Yeah.
love that New Zealand has like the tall blacks
Yeah.
and the black ferns.
Black sticks.
And the black sticks and
Mm,
the all blacks.
They
I
do
mean,
do it well.
They really have all of those little nicknames. In South Africa, we call the football team Bafana Bafana, which is brother brother. And the girls are Banyana Banyana, sister sister.
That's cool.
But it's
cute.
like distinct and everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. Whereas I feel like England men is
Yeah.
quite generic if you think about it.
Answers on a postcard.
Yeah.
Answers on a
Oh,
postcard.
in the DMs.
We're not
Yeah.
that like
All the
creative.
DMs.
But do you think
Or
that
inventive.
if you could roll back time and you were Scotland and you had to choose between putting a thistle on your chest and putting a unicorn, which is the country's national animal,
I'm sorry.
No,
you
but they
cannot
would
run
not
out
put a
in front of
unicorn.
80,000 people with a
we
unicorn on
have
your
a
shirt.
springbok on our
Yeah,
chest.
but at least it's real.
A wallaby is a small kangaroo.
Sorry,
Why
what?
would you choose that?
Utterly, don't listen to this.
I was like, unicorns
That's
are
my
real.
Sorry,
niece,
all
by
small
the
children
way.
around the land.
Yeah.
Unicorns are real.
Father Christmas is real too, okay? But if you could have a unicorn and a dragon, then why would you not?
I don't think you'd have a unicorn.
Why not?
Imagine, were we naming the Scotland team the unicorns then?
Yeah.
Oh no, what would the girls be?
What is a female? Is a unicorn? Is it a gender fluid animal? I don't even know.
I
if
feel
you
like
get
it would be.
male and female.
I have no
unicorns.
idea where we're even going at this point.
Is a
But I do
unicorn
like
gender
the USA
fluid?
or the Eagles.
Oh, let me know.
I have concerns about Canada being the Leafs as well, the Maple Leafs.
Mm.
I've said this repeatedly. I feel like we need to come up with better ones there. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Kudos to Nicole though for naming us the Red Roses.
Yeah.
Because she got in there early, and that's stuck,
That's
and
really
that is
smart.
really gone,
It's just yeah.
taken off.
Battle in the
Maybe she
netballers.
can come up with a name.
Nicole, please let us know, what should we call the boy roses outside of boy roses?
I don't think they would like that.
The boy roses,
I don't think.
the uncle roses, the men's roses.
No. Okay.
I think boy rose is quite catchy.
It's like they're a different word for a rose. Do you know what I mean? What are you
As in a
laughing?
foreign word, probably then doesn't make it particularly English.
No,
English.
not a foreign word.
Oh.
Not like French. We're not going French again. But like, you know, like the different colours of roses. Is it just like a pink rose and a red rose? Or is
The
there
white
different-
rose.
There'll be
Roses.
different variety of roses.
The white roses, that could go.
Okay.
Such as
The Lions shirt has roses on it. Have you seen the new Lions shirt?
Here we go.
The
Saw it,
men's Lions,
saw it very briefly.
the boy Lions. They got roses on their shirts and thistles and the clover. It's woven into the actual fabric texture.
that's cool.
To bring all of the unions together. Very cool.
That's
Yeah.
super cool.
And it's gone like dark red. It's like wine.
It did look
red.
darker than
Yeah.
previous years.
Yeah, which I'm quite a fan of. England play Australia. So now the small kangaroos are here and they
Small
Why small?
because a wallaby is a small kangaroo.
There we are then.
Duh.
Did you not know this?
Did you
I
not
just
know?
don't think I'd.
What
Scaz,
did you
not
think a
know
wallaby
that?
was?
Yes, guys.
I just hadn't connected it at all.
Outside of a rugby team.
Sorry, what? A wallaby isn't a kangaroo, or is a kangaroo just a small one?
It is a kangaroo, it's just a small one.
So what's a normal kangaroo? Kangaroo.
It's yeah.
Don't you start. You didn't even know. I'm just clarifying for you.
Sorry.
It's genuinely
Why have
like
they got two names?
Because
it's like a puppy.
Why is it not a Joey?
Is that like a puppy and a dog?
No, good. Joey's
are
a small kangaroo.
they are similar animals,
A baby
They're
kangaroo.
not the same animal.
but they are very, very similar.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I was confused by small kangaroo.
I'm still
They are
confused.
small kangaroos. They are like kangaroos, just small.
But it's not a kangaroo.
But it's
It's
very
not a Joey.
similar. They also have the little pouchy and everything
Why are
else.
there
which
two
Is it like an
different
ostrich and an
versions?
emu?
but
kind of a
bit
vibe?
like that. Same
Fine.
Still
family.
lost.
It is a small kangaroo.
Anyway, England,
Sorry.
Australia.
The,
The
small,
small
kangaroos, are
kangaroos
here,
are
and they
here.
are playing England next.
What a
Yes.
cracker.
This is really important for the small kangaroos because they are hosting the Lions next year.
Yes.
And so Joe Schmidt's team in yellow and a little bit of green now need to come here and stake a claim and say, here we are going to do the business. So that all of us will go down to Down Under next year to go watch the Lions against them. They do have Wales second, so if this weekend doesn't go well for them,
What are you
think it'll be
suggesting,
really-
Elma?
there's always a chance next week.
I think it'll be a really interesting one. Like some of their attack in the rugby championship was so slick, wasn't it? And I think New Zealand's obviously new defensive system.
Yeah.
Like if you can unpick that, if you can actually get your timing right to come out the back of it and get around it, I think it could be quite a high scoring game.
Oh,
But I'm
quite a
hoping that
high-scoring game.
England's attack clicks a little bit more this weekend. We see a bit more of that front foot tries scored.
Are you working this one? Oh no, next one.
Yeah, no,
Mo's working the South Africa game.
can't wait.
South Africa.
Yeah, buzzing to be there.
Shululu.
Oh, you haven't had one of them in a while.
I'm in like corporate for it.
Are you really?
Yeah, God,
Oh.
yeah.
Have you got this? Have you got a suit and a coat and a whole thing?
No, not yet.
Oh.
I'll
what,
sort it out.
What is your
Got a
role?
week. Unsure.
Oh,
Yeah. I think I'm just like Q&A type thing before the game.
work in the boxes.
Also, don't think I've got a ticket for the game, which is kind of an issue. So
this
need
is
to
what
get that
happens. You
sorted.
work the boxes and then
Yeah.
you basically stay inside and watch it on the
No,
TV,
can't
even
do
though
that.
you're at the
Must we
Allianz
ask
Stadium.
Sia if like there's anyone who has extra player tickets left?
Oh no,
over?
I'd feel bad.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't if I was you.
I also think you just poke your nose out, you'd be alright.
Yeah.
But also, I mean,
Get
don't
some
you know
accreditation
people
from
who
back
work
in
at England Rugby? I mean,
Yeah.
Sold out, Elma.
I mean,
is
maybe
it?
maybe
I assume.
Scazzy knows someone she can ask.
Are you working it?
No, I think we've got a game.
Small details?
Life keeps on rolling,
There
doesn't
we
it?
are. Loughborough, we'll get there.
Yeah, Loughborough.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the game, Emily?
Which one?
The-
Australia?
Australia.
Yeah, I
The
think it
small
could be a good game.
kangaroos.
I think England will and should win. The small kangaroos. Yeah, England should and will win. I think it's tough. Like when you get off to a series start with a loss, that's so tight, and a series that you want to properly go after and potentially eyeball in 3-4 wins. When you lose the first one, all of a sudden you're always under pressure, but you're probably under a bit more pressure. So I think this Australia game, timely before South Africa, I think it was the other way around. It'd be like, oof, here we go.
Do you think they'll feel under pressure though?
I think they always feel under pressure
Do you?
At home.
at home, have to,
Yeah.
for sure.
Considering what ticket prices are at Twickenham, I'd
And-
hope they
Yeah.
feel pressure.
Yeah, and there's always that like northern southern hemisphere piece, and this is like a
Which one's which? Not sure.
a legit, like you're playing the big three, aren't you?
Yeah.
In a row, week after week.
Boom, boom, boom.
Mm.
It is brutal. That is heavy, to be fair.
So now England did win something this week, even though you girls weren't in action as the Red Roses. The Utrecht Shield, which is what we were chatting about a few weeks ago, but we kind of glossed over it and didn't properly acknowledge the Utrecht Shield.
Is that how you say it?
Well, I think in English you would probably say it differently. How would you say it? Utrecht?
Is it a ch, not a sh?
It is a place name in the Netherlands, so I would say the ch sound is in there.
Utrecht.
I'm just going to sit quietly.
Utrecht.
Yes.
It's like Delch in
Is it-
Welsh.
Diolch.
but
I can
yeah,
say that.
I
Joch.
met the guy
Joch and Val.
You did?
and his son.
Sorry, I'm fuming. We literally have spoken like most days and you didn't even say this. And then I watched the video of you getting presented it. That is big.
It was massive.
Collected the shield on behalf of all of England. And you didn't even say. Where is it?
Oh no, I didn't keep it. I gave it back to them. They keep it.
Why do they keep it? Why do they get to keep
Because it's logistically a very big thing to have to move
Yeah.
around the world.
It's
so
well
they,
heavy.
What,
He
so
gave
they
it me.
take it?
No, so he did give it me for a photo, and I was like, I'm not keeping this, am I? He was like, no. I was like, oh my, thank goodness for that. It's massive.
Wait, so
doesn't fit
does
in Scazzy's car. She's got one of those
No.
small flat ones.
so
Yeah.
many questions.
Fiat
So
Punto
does he
fit
then
in
like
there.
say like we played, I don't know, whoever we play. Who
Canada,
had it before
and
us?
you lose.
Canada.
Yeah. Then
Did
Canada
he go
wins.
to Canada and say, "Hi, this is yours. You've won it," or does he keep it in his house?
Well,
And who engraves it?
and who engraves it? There are many questions here. Scazzy, will you please get us the answers and come back?
I can try and find out. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, is no one else
But-
invested in this?
Yes. Yeah. I thought Amy had said you only win it back. Wait. You only win it if you beat the current holders at home.
Yes.
Apparently that's not correct.
Oh,
Apparently it's if you beat the current holders.
full stop.
Full stop.
So it's a lineal shield, just for those who have no idea where what the hell we're on about.
Some of us don't
It's
even know what a lineal shield means.
Okay, so it is a trophy that you win,
Yes.
and it's basically they've worked
I love
out.
that you had to you changed the shield name as well.
Yeah.
It's a trophy.
It's a trophy. It is a big thing that you win. And it's there to basically track. Do you know that thing that we do in tournaments where you have pools and they go, if this team beat this team and they then lost to this guy, then this means this team is better than the first team. You know, when you
Right.
start doing that thing where England lost to the All Blacks and then the All Blacks lose to Ireland. And then we go, that means Ireland is better than England.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's a bit like that.
Right.
Sorry, all I could see then was Sam clipping this up with some form of like cogs going above Mo's head, like as she's trying to listen to you.
Like
Just
Homer Simpson.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lineal shield that is basically an honorary gold star on your forehead to say you have beaten this team who has beaten everyone else, and now you are the holder.
There's a lot of like names on it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But now the women's one is the Utrecht Shield, and it has been held the longest by which team?
Take a wild guess.
In the women's game. Is it A, England, B, Canada, C, New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Yeah.
2002 to 2009.
Shut up.
Something like that.
You are reading this out of the information that Shira sent you.
dear.
So stop pretending like this is you being the oracle. Okay?
Damn it.
Uh,
That was like my one moment to be smart on the sofa.
Go, Mosef. We love this for you. So now you guys need to hold on to this
Yeah.
thing for more than 7
More
years,
than-
20 matches?
Yeah, 20 matches.
20 matches. How long
Or
is that?
I don't
gonna
know if
take you?
20 takes
Oh,
it or
no.
21 will take it.
21 takes it.
21 takes it.
So then that means it's the
Wait, what
women's
do you
Six
mean 21?
Nations. So you need to do more than them. Then you become the
Otherwise you
people who've
draw.
held it the longest. So in order
So
to
it doesn't
improve
matter
on their
that it was
record,
just 7 years.
let's go 20 matches. How long will
Fine.
it take you to play 20 matches? The Six Nations
Five.
is
2
5.
years.
And then you'll have some
3, 4, 5,
pre-World
6.
Cup matches.
2 years.
World Cup,
Yeah.
2 years.
About 2 years, yeah.
Okay, so basically winning streak for the next 2 years. Thanks, bye.
There you go.
Okay, cool. We've put in the order for Red Roses fans out there. If you're a Boy Roses fans and you would like to watch the winning England team, then come on over.
I've just seen a Vodafone bucket hat. Is that for me? Sorry, I was like pure
Sorry,
magpie then.
We were
How long has it
Explaining.
taken
I
her
just
to
pure
notice
magpied.
this?
I pure
Raven
magpied.
Shield. Who had
Sorry.
held it?
No,
who
I know,
had
I thought-
challenged it?
I thought we'd finished.
The real history behind
I just
it.
saw it, corner of my eye.
And it's all you can say is there's a Vodafone.
Who
bucket
am
hat.
I, Mo?
Oh, I don't know.
Scaz. This is my Halloween outfit.
Sorry, I understand.
Oh
The
my
bucket
goodness.
hat.
Who I am.
Who am I?
Oh,
You're
Chris.
funny. Sorry, yeah, just saw that out the corner of my eye.
And then you guys were
What's
also
in the cat?
nominated on the topic of winning things. Sunday Times Team of the Year in the Sunday Times Sportswoman of the Year awards.
Oh, so is
Dominant-
it all female?
So yeah, so
all
all of
female
these
awards?
categories are celebrating women in sport.
Understood. I didn't know this until earlier, did
I
you?
didn't. I think I saw it. I saw it on our account.
Do you not have a WhatsApp group? Did you guys not to say to one another, "Wee yay"?
No.
No, that
Lots of
didn't
other wee
happen.
yays go on in that group, but just not on this occasion.
Okay,
Yeah.
examples. Come on.
Santa and her baby.
Wee yay.
Wee yay for Olivia.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes. Okay, and
One of our
Berna
SNCs.
got the RPA rep award.
Yeah,
Wee
we
yay. Yeah.
And one of our SNC's brothers started climbing.
Got to base camp, Mount Everest. Wee
Wee
yay. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Sorry, Sunday Times.
Yeah.
You didn't get the wee yay. But yay. The other nominees in the Sunday Times Team of the Year list is Chelsea Women, England Netball, Europe's Solheim Cup Team, Hannah Mills and Ailid McIntyre, Laura Kenny and Katie Archibald, and the Oval Invincibles.
Ooh.
Ah.
They did win the 100, didn't they?
A little bit of cricket there. Love that for them. A really nice big split there.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you be happy to lose to?
Probably all of those, to be fair.
Oval
All quite-
Invincibles,
All quite impressive.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Someone else who was
Okay.
nominated in the
Yeah.
Grassroots Sports Women of the Year award is the person behind Black Girls Ruck and Onward Siri, absolute legend. Plays for Hackney, started off a podcast to document the experience of women in rugby, but especially women of colour. And this has really grown into a social collective. If you haven't checked out Black Girls Ruck, then please do. They're doing so much work to make rugby a safe place for trans and non-binary people in the sport as well. And there's a hardship fund to remove barriers for access, which all of these things I feel like goes so undiscussed. We don't just talk about the barriers of access, but also the fact that we'd love everyone to pick up an oval ball.
100%.
Shout out Anne.
Yeah,
Everybody.
massively. I think Sadia Kabir does a bit with them. I'm pretty sure she's done Water Girl for like sevens tournaments and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah, so
love
pretty cool. And maybe
that.
Shauna Brown, I think she's been involved a bit in it. Yeah, which is awesome. Love your work. Love your work, Anne.
Good going. Speaking of loving the work people do, we got a little update from the Empower Her launch episode.
Oh, who from?
that our Mo sat in the main chair holding the reins.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God, that was stressful. Shira did an exceptional job putting that together, I must admit.
Really?
Because at times I was like sat there and I'm like trying to read the iPad because obviously it prompts you of like what potentially you want to go on to next. So many times someone's speaking, I don't know how you do it, where you like are engaged in that conversation, ask really relevant questions, but also are trying to keep half an eye on what's next. Don't know if you're doing it to me now, but anyway, I'm still going to go.
She looks like she's
Yeah, she
engaged, but
does,
she's
yeah.
not listening to a word you're saying.
I'm also thinking in a different language altogether.
Yeah,
So
madness.
the gears
do you
are
think
rolling.
do you think it's South African?
In South African, yes, I do.
Of course she does.
Yeah, I just hadn't quite figured that. Like, as in the thought. Can you imagine thinking in a different language to what then comes out of your mouth?
No.
No, not me. That was my point.
Do you know what's the
Anyway,
dead
sorry.
giveaway? It's like at work when we're doing things and, you know, like you're busy sorting something out and then they go, how many are there? And then you go, sure. And I start counting. I cannot count in English.
Mm.
It's like
Can you count in South African for us?
in Afrikaans.
Sorry.
South African isn't actually a language.
Can you count in
We have
Afrikaans
11
for
national
us?
languages.
And can you count in your native language?
No, as in I want to hear it.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
similar.
10. Yeah, it is actually. Well, the beginning, yeah. And
Yeah.
then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
It sounds the same. Just with an accent.
Just with a lot of in there.
Do you know what I mean though?
So
1, 2, 3, 4. Does that sound
no. You just sounded like you were Dutch speaking English or something.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my god.
Okay, we move on.
Do that.
Anyway, sorry, should I
So
go back
how
to
was
my story?
hosting?
Should
Yeah.
I go
so
back to
many
my story?
Afrikaans people are
Yeah,
about to propose
really
to you. She
offensive.
really tries
Really
to learn.
offensive. Sorry, everyone.
No, it's not offensive. It's sweet.
So basically, I was looking at the iPad. Can't even get my words out there. And then she'd like, and Shira would like bold something that she wanted me to go on to next. And I'd literally like lose all train of thought and be like, sorry, so what are we doing now? Like speaking to Shira and just completely cut the conversation. So yeah, it was pretty tragic at times, but we got there.
I couldn't tell. Your segues were very smooth.
Thank you. I really
I
appreciate it.
noticed
There
a
was
couple of times you were like, speaking of, and I was like, that's
Hey!
But
That's
the
what the
thing
bus
is, I
lady
need to
does.
have different words to get into that because it was the same. Speaking of that, do you know what I mean? I did it a few times.
There were a
It was
few.
like your habitual cough.
Yeah, just happens, doesn't it? Can't get away
your
from
tick. Your other tick is armory.
Armory. No, sorry. What did Lucy say? My sister texted me absolutely creasing. What
I
was the
listened to
word
that.
she used about the books that she liked?
I don't know.
Dystopian world books was the word she used.
What do you, when she says dystopian world books, what do you think she's referring
I have
to?
no idea.
Like, there's nothing.
Nothing there. Like,
Well, that is actually
genuinely-
quite accurate.
genuinely like not a clue, which is why we didn't go there and we moved on.
You
very
were just
quickly.
like, tra-la-la-la.
and I said I feel really out of my depth, which was very true.
So dystopian world books is about places that are quite sad.
Oh,
What?
I wanted Scaz to see if she knew, because sometimes she sits there quietly, but I think that she knows she doesn't have the same answers, you know.
What would your expectation be of a dystopian world book?
And a soldier dog.
Soldier dog.
Well, a soldier dog. I understood what you were saying about the armoured dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like when
But-
Belinda was here and she said, sorry, and she said the headhunter came for her. And then it's
you
all-
just saw heads being chopped
Do you know
off
what I
left,
mean?
right,
It's
centre.
all I saw was someone like Grim Reaper like coming after her. I was like, what did that look like? Sometimes my mind just goes there, and I'm quite a literal gal. But yeah, dystopian world books. She'd read an extra 5 books in a week, and I just think, how?
It's just the same as you love listening to music. Imagine if all of that was either reading or
Yeah.
listening to a book. That's
Yeah.
it's the same like period of time.
Fair enough.
I
It's just
mean,
you use it differently.
yeah.
I do listen to a lot of music.
I mean, if you had to put Where's Wally on an audiobook, I'm not sure what would be in there.
it would be really confusing because it would be like dog, dog. Valid striped shirt. Wally. You don't think?
I don't think that would work as an audio.
Yeah. Tractor wheel. Mirror. Someone hiding behind mirror.
Oh my goodness.
Mo.
Lou Fandango heard that Where's Wally is Mo's favourite book, even though it's very short on words, big on
Sorry.
entertainment.
It's not my favourite book. It's
Oh.
the book that I used to. It's like the only one I used to read at school.
Yeah, I think read is probably a bit of a stretch.
Very loose term.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel
Yes,
like you're
yes, yes.
using read in an abbreviated commas.
It's a book with pages, and you've said you've read
Yeah,
it.
it's picture book, but yes. Lou then made
But nonetheless challenging.
challenging in its own way.
Yeah.
Pattern recognition challenging.
Yeah.
Dog.
Dog. Lou made us a special Where's Wally that Mo is in and sent it to us.
Class.
This is my cue to hold it up.
Fandango-tastic.
It is there by Scazzy's shoulder. How long did it take you to find our Mosif in it, Scazzy?
It was hard because not slamming the printing, but the printing has made it quite blurred. This is like
Shira.
this is like looking at my TV at home. The HD is just not there. But I did find it, and I can't.
It's
Oh
even
yeah, there it is.
funnier when you take the pic out yourself.
Oh, is it? Who knew? But yeah, it's really challenging. Hard to find, but we found it.
I even was sat here for about a good 5 minutes while you were chatting earlier, and with my finger trying to find it and couldn't. But I have now.
Have you?
Yeah.
You have located yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, Lou Fandango. You kept Mo busy for a good 5 minutes. Please keep them coming. Don't stop.
Near the baseball player.
And if you are an illustrator yourself,
Sorry, there's lots of baseball players. I think there's a whole team in here. Not helpful.
this is all very
and
serious
where's
rugby
Wally
chat. We would love to make a whole series of these, and maybe we can raise some money for charity.
I'm
or
pretty
something.
sure you can do custom Where's Wally's.
Mm.
So like you can
We
put
could put our own hats on like that.
Yeah.
Lots of little red bucket hats
Yeah.
floating around. Yeah.
You
There
could
we
have
go.
a bucket hat.
lovely.
Yeah.
We could do a
We could have a
farm
cat.
scene. We could do a cat one.
Lots
Oh
of
my
kitty
god, could you
cats.
imagine?
And Barbies, like Meg
Yeah.
Jones's Barbie car.
We're going out as Barbies this weekend, and I can't wait.
Who's we?
The girls.
The girls.
What Barbie are you
girls.
The
going to be?
Gloucester girls.
I don't really want to tell them yet in case they see it.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a photo because I'm really excited about it.
How long have you been planning this Barbie outfit?
Only this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
So everyone is a Barbie.
hmm And then everyone's going to go, hey, Barbie.
Hey, Barbie.
God.
And some people are coming to Ken, which
I was
going to
say,
Lily.
is there going to be a Ken?
Yeah, there is going to be a Ken, and we want Lily to be Alan, and I'm going to buy him that wig, that ginger wig.
Which one's Alan?
You know, the like little camp
the
one.
friend,
The friend.
I can't think.
I'll show you a photo.
the earnest friend.
Mm.
Yeah. On the topic of listener messages, Tyson 8887 said, I watched the whole video, really proud of the ladies team at Gloucester. We will discuss ladies. Hopefully you bounce back on Sunday and put 70 points on sale. Mo is a brilliant host. Definitely has a future in TV.
Cheers, Tice.
Come on. And Thrombo C says, great episode and insight. Mo's interviewing skills and confidence have really grown. Love this kind of deep dive format. More like this, please. But you did really do a very good job.
There
You
we
did a
are.
great job.
Thanks, guys.
It was beautiful work.
Yeah.
And it was so perfect because you know that club
Yeah.
and those people and that whole setup and the ethos, but also what sets it apart inside out. And it was very clear from that conversation, the passion, but also the deep dedication rang true throughout.
I thought Django was really good as well.
Oh.
It was really. I thought it was really good insight to get him on,
He's such a guy.
and also like the relationship that you guys have quite clearly comes through.
Mm.
And
He is such a guy.
Cares a lot.
He messaged after being like, I was only joking about all of your exterior things that you do. Like, I'm really proud of everything you do. I was like, Django, I know that. You don't need to say that.
Oh, bless him.
Bless him. Because
That's kind.
yeah, but he like made a little joke about it. It was like, yeah, if you stop doing podcasts, then, but yeah, bless him. He's such a good guy. Good fun.
I love that.
It was awesome. We loved having you there. And it was way quicker than driving down here.
one benefit.
More,
Yes.
please.
More, please.
The Empower Her project is kicking off in a big way. And I loved Meg Jones commenting on our launch video. She was really here for your There's a Storm Brewing
Yeah.
delivery, Scally.
Can you remember how many takes we did of that though? Again,
12.
it was
Yeah.
quite a lot.
It was an iconic
And
line.
my continual feedback was more energy.
More passion.
Well, yeah.
More footwork. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Class.
And Meg knows that.
And on the topic
she
of
loves it.
Meg's, she actually she sent something that we need to
Oh, this is new.
discuss.
Hello, just sent you a video because I thought it'd be easier. At the Ealing Trail Finders game, Loughborough TN team, finished the game, go into the clubhouse, and this man calls me over. I'm like, oh, hello. And he's like, oh, I loved you on the pod last week. I thought it was amazing. But I disagree with Elma's point about ladies because I don't think it's sexist or racist. And I was like, okay, well, is misogynistic, isn't it? Because yada yada yada. So I'm asking if you could bring it up again, because obviously it didn't hit home with some viewers. So we still obviously really need to address the situation. Do you know what I'm saying?
So even when Meg's not here, she's here.
I love that.
I love Meg.
I love that.
I love that
She's
people are
this
stopping
involved.
her.
Did
Yeah.
you? Sorry, that's total sidetrack. We'll come back obviously to this. Did you see her on TNT at the weekend? So it was the
So
trail
casual.
the Tigers Trail Finders game, and we were chatting a bit about her in comms. Obviously, hopefully she'll be back soon. So a camera just went and sat like perched next to her, and then she just starts like gurning at it. So she knows it's there. She's sticking her tongue out, pulling all funny faces, and but the camera's literally on her. Just as I was describing what a brilliant personality she is, and then she just starts doing that. It was just really funny.
Just letting her freak flag fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the topic of ladies, for those who were not here the last time, I ranted a little bit about this, and I really wasn't planning to. It was in the Sia Khaleesi episode a little later on. I think what is important to recap is that I said I really don't like the word being used to describe women in sport specifically. I think we can retire the word ladies. I don't like being referred to as a lady. I prefer women. I really feel like we can reclaim the word women. And it's because, and I do think that it has racist undertones. Ladies are, it's a term that dates back to the Victorian era. Women who were considered ladylike were quiet and demure. They didn't cause trouble. They didn't speak out. They were not strong. They weren't high agency people. They weren't people who made differences and changes to their lives. But also, I think the problem is that people of certain races could never ascend to being a lady. People of certain classes were never going to be a lady. And the use of the word gentleman, there's actually a study. And I think this is the point for me more than anything. The Cambridge English Corpus, a multi-billion word collection of the English language, found the word gentleman was the only male gender term that decreased in usage within a sports context following a study it conducted on the 2016 Rio Olympics. The term ladies, meanwhile, increased in use by 20%. So whereas we're talking more about women who compete in sporting context, we're referring to them as ladies, but we're not doing the same with men. So there is not this expectation from men to fit in some sort of classist box or to adhere to normative forms of behavior. They can be men and that they can embody the full power of that term. Now, I know that people use the word ladies because they're trying to show respect, it's deference, it's complimenting someone. And so the intention behind it is usually positive. No one's using it to deride or exclude anyone. But I do feel like, broadly speaking, sporting teams should by now have retired the word ladies. And it's one of my greatest bugbears in golf that we're still still calling it the ladies European
Should we
Tour.
not just not call it golf? Because isn't it like gentlemen only, ladies forbidden? Is that not what it stands for?
That's a
Or is
joke.
that someone winding me up?
That's just a joke.
Swear, what's it stand for then?
It's just a word.
What does rugby stand for?
What does rugby stand for, Moses?
What, is that someone winding me up?
Yeah.
No, it's not. I've lived my life thinking that.
But you played golf.
Yeah, I know.
You
Reluctantly
revolutionary
stand on the
lady.
tee like.
This might
It's
free
like-
up. This might
no.
free up your whole game now.
Wait, no.
I was
When,
gonna
Imagine how good that
genuinely-
swing's gonna be.
right, this is
Yeah.
totally left field.
Shake
When I
that
was
off.
young, I went to the shop down the road from my school, secondary school, so must have been about 15, and I tried to buy a Yorkie bar, and the bloke would not sell it me because it's not for girls. That's the life I've lived. That's where I come from. That's how I've been brought up.
Genuinely wouldn't sell it to you.
Genuinely wouldn't sell it us. And the only reason we tried to buy it was because it was like not for girls. Also, how did they get away with that advertising campaign?
Well,
That is anyway.
It wouldn't land well now.
So that isn't what golf stands for,
No.
right? What do you think about ladies?
Presenter Mo's back. She would like to
Yeah.
know, what do you make of the term ladies? Do you think I'm getting way too into this, or does language matter?
Language does matter. I don't think I probably know enough of the history of it, if I'm being totally honest, from obviously what you've just said. I don't get my knickers in a twist about it.
About anything?
Well, yeah, maybe. But I think
Sorry, that's saying. Carry
have
on.
I just taken myself back to that era? Yeah.
Yeah, you're a lady now. There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Men would not get their knickers in a twist, would they? So don't say things like that.
not very ladylike to do that.
We understand the sentiment there, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I think like we're beyond being called a ladies rugby team.
Yeah.
I don't think like when people are like, oh, the England ladies, I'm like, oh. But in the same breath, I get too caught up on, and maybe this is where I need to be better, correcting it.
I think that I am still guilty of sometimes hosting events and saying, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the
This is
so-and-so
the thing.
awards.
So it's almost like, how can we be one, but then...
So I would like to leave the floor open to everyone to say, listen, I'm not saying bad word, you should never use it. I'm just saying, let's think about the way that, especially when we put branding on things, especially when there's a logo and we're a rugby team, let's not call ourselves, for example, the GSR ladies team, because women is a perfectly sufficient. The reason the word women was not aspirational is because you wouldn't refer to laundry women in the Victorian era, would never be laundry ladies. They were laundry women. Women did jobs that were hard, arduous, labor intensive and low class. And ladies was something that was reserved for people who were really passive and had the world happen to them. And so there is a really important distinguishing value being placed on describing people as ladies and as women. And I would love to reclaim the word women. That's all.
By that explanation, I'd rather be a woman anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I do think it's interesting, like, especially you don't, like, previously we were always like England women or England ladies, and then the men's team was England. Do you know what I mean? And like similar, like grassroots, people are like, it's Drybrook. Like the team is Drybrook, and then it's Drybrook ladies.
But back to the
But
Boy
I'm like,
Roses.
exactly.
Like, this is my issue with calling the Boy
Like,
Roses
I just
England.
don't think, like, I think you can tell if it's a female or a male playing the sport. So like, why do we need to reference who it is in the titles as well, you know?
But I do think that if we are distinguishing, then I prefer men and women over ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, agreed.
But if you are using gentlemen like Wimbledon does, then go forth and ladies your heart out, because then the standard is the same.
Yeah.
And the requirement is equally posh on both sides. Okay. Now, on the topic of baby names, did Santa discuss Olivia with anyone?
No.
Did she tell you that she was gonna call her Olivia beforehand? No one knew this.
No.
But I think also because we've both had like siblings that have had kids, you know how stressful the naming part is.
Oh.
Like the naming part is really stressful, and you tend not to ask because as soon as someone's like, oh yeah, thinking of this, then that when there's opinions on it, then it can sway you either way. So I'm really conscious to never ask my friends.
I always
Agree.
ask.
Oh, do you?
We had asked, but just like, have you got? Maybe that's the
Sorry.
difference between the two of us and you.
Did you ask?
No, all I
I'm
was going
really
to say
conscious
was
not to.
we asked like, because they also didn't know what sex it was going to be, so we asked, have you got some names in mind? And when the answer was yes, we were like, done. Because also, as soon as you start ploughing into like, or people firing out names, then everyone's like, oh no, I don't like that.
Yeah,
and imagine
no.
if that was one of the names on the list.
But why would you say, oh, I don't like that? It's not your child.
No,
I mean,
exactly.
no, but
you
people
I'm
have
do.
an
genuinely
opinion.
just curious.
People do.
I'm
When-
more
Have you
interested
ever
in
worked
why.
with kids? Have you ever worked with kids?
Do you think that I have ever worked with kids? What about me raises any expectation with
That was
you?
the most deadly answer you have ever given me. Straight back. Do you think I have?
Do
no.
I strike you as the kind of person who should be
Right.
around children?
Fine. So when you work with kids, you have like quite strong connotations towards different names because you associate names like that with different kids.
What would you never name your child?
Oh, careful.
I'm
Oh,
no,
not gonna
because
go
that
there.
child in your past might listen
Yeah,
to this.
I'm not going to go there.
oh.
But as in, like, it just really reminds you, like, and it might be a really good kid or it might be a kid that is a little bit troubled, whatever. But like, there's so many names that you have to come across, and that's your first thing you think of. Do you know what I mean? So it's weird to name it something that.
Mm.
Do you know? You know what
But
I'm
it's
saying?
a lovely name. Nathan.
Help me.
Yeah, sorry. I'll
She's
go
drowning.
on to a different thing. Nathan. So they had announced on our Santa had told us, and then Nathan put on our Loughborough group about having had the baby, and then he was like, right, I'll tell you the name at 7 p.m. like first person to guess it, I'll buy a coffee. So then everyone starts firing in the
Wow,
group
he's
chat.
got time.
Yeah, it was kind of cute, but it was
Yeah.
a really good buy-in from the girls, to be fair. Like everyone was firing in names. Like obviously some were total jokes.
But what was the
What was
name
the joke?
most
What
people
did you say, you
guessed?
joker?
I obviously didn't joke because Sun's had already told us at this point.
You should have done it.
Yeah, I know.
I would
But
have gone Alice. A lot of people
Carmela,
love Alice.
That's
yeah?
her second name.
that's her second name.
Oh, okay. Well.
Carmela, fourth guess on the chat. Olivia, nailed it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was quick.
There we are.
Good job.
Yeah.
Have you been rocking the chinos anywhere? Speaking of things that need
No,
to be.
don't. Have you heard about the chinos?
No.
I brought them with me.
Oh, they are here.
Yeah,
Show and tell.
I shoved them
Show
in my
and
bag
tell.
just because I thought it'd be funny. However, as I was getting them out to shove them in my bag, I looked at the label. Guess what they call themselves?
Are they?
Like a wide leg chino.
They are a chino.
They're a flipping
We knew
chino.
that, Scaz.
No,
All
I
the
didn't. I was like,
Why is that so funny?
We got one.
you just wanted to be a sports
Yeah.
person for a minute. That's how we love our lives.
Watch your head. Thought she's gonna whack her head.
Why is that so funny?
Chinos.
No, because I had I told you the story about me saying it to my mum.
No.
So obviously, mum
What
listens.
did Yvonne say?
Mum listens to the podcast, and she was like, "Which trousers are they on about?" And I was like, "Oh, we'd been out the week before." I was like, "The pair I wore for coffee or whatever." And she was like,
Spa day. Come on, tell the real
Spa day.
story.
"I changed
If you're
it to
going to tell
coffee."
the story, tell the real
She went to
story.
the spa with
Coffee,
Yvonne in
don't
your
lie to our
chinos.
listeners. You took your mum on your annual spa day, which is cute as, by the way.
Yeah, it is, to be fair.
You
I
have an
just thought-
annual
sorry,
spa day with
did
your
we try?
mum?
Yeah, I'll tell the story, shall I?
Go on.
Scaz turns up, her mum turns up, same outfit.
We're wearing like green trousers, white top. I got a picture.
Green chinos.
No, well, mum's weren't chinos, and I was convinced mine weren't either. Anyway, so I said it to her. Oh, the pair I wore. Da, da, da. She was like, "No, they're not chinos." She was like, "I'll text Sharon and tell her to tell Amy." Sharon's Amy's mum, and I was like, "Yeah, go on then, mum." Anyway, so now
Did she text her?
I've looked in the chuffing label and it says chino,
The chuffin label
and
says chino.
I'm not getting them out of my bag.
I think you should. I really think you should.
In honour of you, I wore a pair of chinos the other day, wide-legged,
I also-
tan chinos.
There's no issue with the chino.
Oh.
It's the fact that Scaz wouldn't admit it was a chino
And she wore it
and
to
the
an arcade.
context in which she wore the chino.
Do you know what though? In any other circumstance, and now I can defend myself because they're not here, they would be the ones getting ripped for what they were wearing, not me.
In any other context, what do you mean?
Well, as in, because I was dressing like a normal human being, arguably,
To the arcade.
to
Which
go
is,
to leave the house, to go outside. They weren't. But
you were
but
dressed to go to the
that is
office
the power of numbers.
or a rugby club function.
No, just well, anyway,
Stop defending it.
I'm going to burn them.
Speaking of people who wear chinos, Fee Thomas has been burning down the
Oh,
chino.
she's burned down the house.
Oh my goodness.
on her.
Shout out to Fee Thomas for sensational journalism. And I'm not saying sensationalizing, I'm saying sensational as in amazing effort. Thank you for shining a light on the way women are treated in the workplace. And this is the point I'd like to make on the topic. In any other workplace, in any other industry, if you were a nurse or a pilot or an engineer, if you were working in any other high-skilled, highly professional environment, anyone pressuring you into signing an employment contract with a timing deadline would genuinely just be laughed off. Like, it just would not wash.
Madness.
And the fact that Fee Thomas wrote a story basically telling the players' side of a Welsh Rugby Union scandal because of the players being threatened with World Cup withdrawal in a contract standoff is really important because it holds power to account. But it also shines a light on the standards that we'd like to see in place for people who do any kind of work. Whether you work as a physiotherapist or a doctor, a rugby player, or anything else.
It's I think it's wild that amongst other things, one of the things obviously that they couldn't get through was a maternity policy. Like, how is that not completely bog standard in any contract?
But it's not. Like, ours has only come in the last few years.
No, I know, but as in this, like,
In this day and age, yeah.
with a new contract, with them putting their foot down and saying we need this, how have they then forced them to sign something that still doesn't have that?
I think the key focus here for me, and the thing that went unsaid, and I listened into the press conference as a result of this story that the Welsh Rugby Union granted the next day. I think the thing that goes unsaid and the sexist tone to this, which I feel like, I don't know if everyone really examined why that word was used, is that in the context of the men's game, if any of the top 10 rugby unions in the world threatened their men's team with the fact that they would lose qualification to the Rugby World Cup if they don't sign their contracts in time, players would laugh it off. And it would be realistic for them to laugh it off, because no union could risk their men's team not competing in a Rugby World Cup because of the commercial implications of that. Both the losses of non-competing in a World Cup, because it is a really important thing to go and earn your spot there, but it also gives credibility and standing to your team for the next 4-year cycle. That's why it's so important. That's why there's so much investment into a Rugby World Cup campaign. So the fact that a women's team's non-compliance when it comes to a contract negotiation is something that would give rise to the threat of jeopardizing Rugby World Cup participation is an actual risk that women's players face, show that the women's chances of competing in a Rugby World Cup is not considered equally important. And that is the tone that, and I think the sexist angle to this, which has not been examined nearly enough. But the good thing is the Celtic Challenge has given us something to celebrate this week. New league format was introduced with teams playing both home and away. The Celtic Challenge is the first women's domestic cross-border competition. If you haven't watched it before, it's played between 6 teams across 3 nations over 10 rounds. At the end of the season, the team with the highest table standing is crowned champions. And it's basically featuring 2 Welsh teams, 2 Irish teams, 2 Scottish teams. And the minimum operating requirements, there is a bit of an uplift on that this year, which is amazing. There's news about head coaches expected in the next week. And Ireland's trajectory since the inception of this competition specifically, I think, has pointed to this model showing that it is delivering results. Aoife Wafer didn't just materialize out of the ether. There is a pathway here. She came through the Celtic Challenge. There is a reasonable assumption that all the games will be available to watch and should be free to view. So keep an eye on the Celtic Challenge, because that is where the Aoife Wafers of the world will be coming from and where you can keep an eye. The first round of games is the 20th of December. Whoop, whoop. Lots to look forward to. Rugby World Cup 2025 draw. We have somehow not discussed this.
Not at all.
We discussed it pre-draw.
We discussed a tiny bit on last week.
Yeah. Your bestie Gabs.
All my besties are there. Mary Berry, love her.
Yeah.
She's not a bestie, obviously.
She wasn't
never
actually
met her.
there though.
Does Mary know your
also,
name?
Ab Fab. Did you ever used to
And
watch?
Ab Fab.
Oh my! I used to love Ab Fab. Absolutely fabulous. Did you ever watch
Absolutely
that?
fabulous. No.
Oh, when they were there, I was gutted.
Mo was at my house for the draw.
Oh yeah, I went to see Scazzy.
Yes.
And
Cute.
I actually really forgot, but I've got some brilliant videos of Mo reacting to it.
Live.
And maybe we can put this on socials. Sorry, yeah.
please
Yeah,
do
but we
share
don't want to give
with some
anyone
cut downs.
ammunition. I was
No.
buzzing.
Mo was so
buzzing.
animated. So animated. You were, weren't you?
I was quite animated.
She was very
About Ab
excited.
Fab.
Well, Ab
about
Fab,
all
I
of
think,
it.
revved her up, and then the draw just
Mary
really
Berry.
tipped her over the edge. Yeah,
Was there a lot of cheering, whooping and
it was
hollering?
just kind of like arguably a little stress in terms of what was going to happen.
Why?
But this is what I
Bit
mean
a
about the
bit
draw. For the first
anxious.
time, arguably ever, it was
Jeopardy.
interesting
Yeah.
and it mattered. And
And are you happy with the outcome? Because you've got
God, yeah.
Australia.
God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's it that you didn't
Absolutely.
want?
you're not playing now, Mo.
Yeah. Absolutely. Everyone there, tick.
I mean, you were never going to get Canada, New Zealand, or France. So
No.
who is
No,
it
I
that
did think. All right, I'll be honest. I did think it's quite a physical pool. I did think if you look across, it's quite physical what we've ended up with. But 2014 we had Samoa, so that's obviously nice. Make reference.
Are you going to
there.
get squashed again?
Yeah, maybe.
She'd take one for the team if it meant the outcome was the same. I
Yeah.
Do you know
reckon.
when they say
I
you
would.
have to squash your tin cans when you do the recycling? It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
spin round. It was more like one of them
Twirly.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So Samoa and then the USA Eagles and Joe Yapp's Australian girls.
I know.
Yeah.
No
Cool.
pressure.
It was cool seeing her say about it as well, like about playing hosts in a home World Cup.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was pretty cool.
And Rugby Australia is saying to the Levi sisters, not allowed to go over to NRLW.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Didn't see this.
Mm.
Are they coming in, are they?
Mm.
Are they? To the 15s?
Mm.
Interesting. Where do we think Maddy Levi is going to play?
That-
She is a cheat code, by the way, in sevens. I am so interested to see if she can do it in
Yeah.
15s. So interested.
Surely if you have a player of that talent, it's a bit like Ches and Colby.
But she's...
Okay, where would you play her?
Yeah.
After 3, say where you'd play her.
I asked the question, so I'm going to sit on the fence.
No, come on.
No, okay.
Ready?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Fullback.
Wait.
For
I
the...
chickened out. I chickened out. I was gonna say fullback, and then I was gonna go.
Can she
centre.
kick? Can she kick?
Don't
Never
know.
seen her
Yeah.
kick. Don't think she
Don't
can
worry
play
about it.
international
Don't
fullback
worry about
without
it.
kicking.
I think she.
You
Run it.
think you can play an international fullback this day and age without the ability to kick the ball?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
No,
Kick on the next
I want an
phase.
honest answer.
Kick on the next phase.
Guys, I want an honest answer.
It's a later
Do
problem.
you genuinely think that?
No, I do understand what you're saying. However,
Sorry, I love how you were not serious. Yeah, I'm Scaz again. Go on.
I think she needs space. Like, imagine the counter, turnover ball, come from the
But
backfield.
I think you can drop her in the backfield. You know, like off a kickoff, you
So you
drop
don't
Alex
drop your 10.
Matthews back.
Yeah, maybe.
Like you can manipulate the backfield.
wing or fullback.
Fine.
I just think
You wouldn't
fullback
think that she'd be
space.
defensively like sensational as well though. Centre 13.
The
I
thing
don't
is
think you
about
get
her,
enough out of her from an attacking point of view in the middle.
It depends on who you're playing, not England.
I like she is ridiculous in space. Like genuine cheat code. Never seen anything like it. But I've not seen her like tackle break loads or like fend or bump people
Yeah, it's
or
like
like
gas.
use a fade or use footwork or do you know what I mean? That's why I'm really intrigued to see like can she do it in the 15s version? Does she have enough space and time? Like I'm not like questioning her athletic ability. That is next
it's
level.
obvious.
Unreal.
Yeah, I do feel like she.
Like skill set is very good. But like
Be cool though.
remember how much we struggled when we played it for so many years, going back for 2017.
Has she ever played 15s? Is
Yeah.
one of my
I'm trying to
questions.
think now.
Because didn't she come from
the
AFL?
yeah.
Because we like one of the reasons for going back to 15s personally, I'm not going to speak for Scaz, but doing the transition from 2016 Olympics into 2017 World Cup, like I didn't feel tactically ready for that 2017. Like I didn't feel like I was as sharp as I wanted to be. So to do it in how long she's going to have? 4 months? And also the pressure on her to perform.
But the way Australia play, like they give it air, don't they?
That really suits her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do, but have they come up against like a really hard press defence and I don't know, so many factors. I'm interested.
One person who has made the transition between 7s and 15s look like a piece of cake is Alef Kauter. I mean, that is, my stomach has just said, hello, Tina the Talking Tummy is in the house, guys.
Sorry, Tina the Talking Tummy. Brilliant. Kauter. How has she been going?
So she's so good. Obviously, we can't wait to get her out on the field.
Yeah.
Obviously, been a bit stunted since she arrived, but
When?
it's a good question.
When?
We're Exeter away this weekend, not then.
Oh.
But hopefully, we've all got a week off.
Team's
and
out,
then-
is it?
No, she's not available. She's not available.
Got you.
Yeah,
Well,
but
we're all on tenterhooks.
when she gets going, it's going to be hopefully exciting for us all.
Hartpury away.
Is it?
No,
Was
I
that the
don't
next
know.
game?
I don't
Not
know.
sure.
No, we're a while.
Here we go. Lev Kauter for Hartpury.
On the Forehead Stadium.
Yes.
Very cool.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Ilona rumours. Is there anything you would like to confirm or deny?
She's not coming to GH.
Mo tried. She said she'd give back her entire salary for her, but it just didn't work.
Did I?
How are you going to pay your mortgage? If
Yeah,
you do things
exactly.
like
Couldn't. No, when I obviously saw the article, I literally messaged her being like, are you actually considering GH? Because like, if you need anything or if you have any questions, then let me know. And she was like,
the
no.
keys.
She was like, no, not GH. But there are a few others
A few.
That's what she said. So I don't know.
Can you, without being rude, and I love Gloucester, you
I
know
thought
I
it
love
would be-
Gloucester.
No, that's why I was really
But
shocked.
can
I
you,
was
the
like, are you
lifestyle she's
actually-
currently leading.
Are you actually considering Gloucester? That was my genuine words. Because I was like, I've read it and I don't believe it. But no, I think it was Bristol. She also said that she would be keen for Quins when we had her on
Yeah.
here before.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because she said she'd want to go to London.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think Surrey's and
Well, did you see Nick
Unsure.
Heath's
yes,
law book?
very good analysis.
Breakdown
I was going to
of-
say, go check out the
Yeah.
Power Pod, PWR Pod with Nick Heath and Philippa Tatiet, because he broke down the requirements for her. They would have to make a very strong case to find extenuating circumstances in order for her to qualify to play in the PWR, only because she hasn't played 15s in 2 years.
Yeah.
But there is a whole breakdown of this, so get stuck into it. Speaking of Nick, do we know who the commentators will be for Rugby World Cup? One thing that I have picked up on the just past WXV is the number of commentators who worked on WXV had not clearly worked in the women's game for a while. And I can name a few. This is not a dig at any one person. This is like a wider issue. I know that our friend Sarah Orchard will probably be on the BBC. Andrew Cotter had the France warm-up game in September. Will we be hearing him commentating on the women's game some more? How do we feel about commentators without much of a track record in the women's game coming across? I think there's two things here. Some producers, and I'm a producer by trade, so I can say that you can lump me in on this, will look at something like the Women's World Cup and go, we really want to be on the one show. We really want the credibility of people who don't usually work in the women's game to come over and bring all of their fans and followers and all of their familiarity with other audiences into the space, so that when people tune in for the first time, they go, oh, here's a familiar voice. I've heard Andrew Cotter on, men's rugby, and it makes me feel safe and cozy. But there is also probably a side to this where if someone, for example, like Nick, but also so many voices in the women's game who have chosen to work in the women's game specifically for a very, very long time, I do sometimes wonder how much we need to lean on that deep well of authenticity, but also knowledge and understanding and background. Like, how important is that in the storytelling? Because you guys both work on both sides of this. You both play, but you're also working in the media at the same time. So I don't want this to be a personal slight at anyone. I'm just saying, how do you feel about people coming into the women's game on a big occasion like the Women's World Cup?
I think like context is everything, like you said. Like if it's done for a reason where you're trying to bring in that fan base or that following, but for me it has to be people that care and have voiced that previously. So like someone like Oogs coming across before when he's done bits in the Six Nations previously, like I get it, but also I think, like you said, to the credibility piece, like having somebody that knows everyone, knows the names, like doesn't need to commentate and call stuff and then look down at a sheet to be like, who's number 4? Oh, and then say, do you know what I mean? Like I think it's really important that you've got that history and you know the people, and also like having that background, being able to spout off, oh, when they played last year in the PWR or they didn't have this involvement, and then now look at them, like the pathway that they've come through. I think it's huge. And I think there's definitely a massive argument for that as well.
I agree. I think, say like people like Nick, obviously friend of ours, he's brilliant. He's been in the game for so long. He's done so many games, and we're not just talking England either. He's done like world games for so many years. Knows players, knows history, knows stuff that he can recount that you wouldn't get from a week's prep prior to a game. But then in the same breath, like I think, it's a really hard one. Like Ricky was brilliant. I thought WXV, Ricky Swanell.
I thought she was brilliant,
She's
right?
always been awesome. Obviously does a lot of sevens. And to your point of you being a producer, like there's got to be a bit where for us as players listening to it, we want people who know loads and have been there with us before and understand it and have been through the really rough times when it wasn't great and are now hopefully celebrating in the better times. But also we've got to separate ourselves from that and be like, well, what does the viewer want? Because actually at the moment we also want more eyes on the game. We want people to enjoy watching what is hopefully going to be the best World Cup ever. So and obviously I don't know
Yeah, I think
think
that
it's gotta be
lead voice
relatable.
is really crucial because on analysis you can get a really good now insight. But your lead comms person needs to have such a deep well to draw from. I think that's the area in which, so I would say that someone like an Ugo could come in to give you analysis
100%, yeah.
as a second voice really easily. But even people who are coming across from the men's game, who usually work in the men's game, could function in that role, I think, relatively well, because it's just rugby after all. But the lead voice is the one that has to do all of that deep contextual work and understand what people's journeys have been like, but also the ins and outs of different teams and their cultures and the path that they've been on, which in the women's game is also not linear, not even remotely. Now, Rugby World Cup have confirmed that 130,000 tickets were sold in pre-sale for the Rugby World Cup. Ticket application windows are live from now until the 19th of November. For all matches, go to tickets.rugbyworldcup.com if you don't have them yet. If you enter, you'll find out via email what you've been basically allocated by the beginning of December. This isn't the last chance, though. There will be ticketing windows next year, but it'll be dependent on them not selling out. So if you don't move quickly, you might lose out completely. So don't delay.
No, don't. My mum put on our group the other day, I've got 10 tickets for the final, or like the bronze and the final. And I was like, no, you haven't, mum. Like, it's a ballot. I was like, don't get excited about it. So she's obviously tried to get like group games and everything. She's like, yeah, I've got 10 tickets. And I was like, no. So even our own parents, hopefully, touch wood, will all be there. But
She's put in a bid.
mad.
Yeah.
Funny.
Mad.
It's a bit like Facebook Marketplace. You know, you've contacted the person saying, hi, is this thing still available? You sent in an offer and now you're waiting. Can you tell that I'm spending way too much time on Marketplace? I did get a... Oh, see, now they're talking to me. I did get a mantelpiece for the Fireplace the other day for free on Marketplace.
Free?
What do you mean a mantle?
Scaz tried to sell one of her Fireplace.
One of my fireplaces.
Yeah, Scazzy's got multiple
From the
Fireplace.
chateau.
From
Exactly.
Chateau Scazzy.
Some guy drove down from Newcastle. Sorry.
Sorry.
Some guy drove down from Newcastle and decided he didn't want it. Scaz was crushed.
All the way to your house.
Honestly, so like this was when I moved into the house. So it was on the wall. It wasn't a bit of me. It was an electric fireplace,
Buzzing
like
that it was going.
fake coals lit up. It's fancy, but it's not a bit of me. chucked it on Marketplace. He came all the way down, and he was like,
How long is the drive?
3 hours.
3 and a bit. Yeah.
He was like, oh, I didn't realise the
The glass front wasn't
the
there.
glass front didn't have sides. I was like,
She literally
Oh.
was exactly like this. She was like, it was like that on the photo.
I was like, it was like that on the picture. You could see like this fake wood or fake coals like out the side, basically. So it was clear that there wasn't a glass side on it because it had spilled out onto the white bit. I was like, oh, well, you could have asked me about that. Could have let you know. And he was like, yeah, it's not what I wanted. I was like, all right, see you later then. But because it was Facebook Marketplace, and I don't know, this might just be me, but I'd lugged this fireplace outside because I didn't really want him in my house. I'd disconnected it.
she was so buzzing.
I'd taken it out. I've
leaving.
never met this bloke before. I don't know who he is.
Didn't
Weird.
want him in her
It's
house.
bad enough he's coming to my house. So I picked it up. Bearing in mind, it's definitely a 2-man job, but I was by myself.
Risking
Taking it-
injury.
Taking it outside, pops it on the ground, waited for him to come. And then it was like,
This whole story is so bizarre. Do you advertise things on Facebook Marketplace as Emily Scarrett?
I never normally do it. It was because
Or
I
are
wanted
you
to
on
get rid of
Yvonne
this bloody
Scarrett's account?
fireplace. No, it was me.
Oh, it's just you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, guys.
I'm not a regular, trust me.
I am very much a regular.
Sorry, while we're speaking of
Danger,
Facebook, can I
danger.
just make a plea?
Yes.
Stop friend requesting us.
No, someone has got a fake account of me, and people keep coming up to me after games. Some guy was out in Canada and was very familiar and was like, yeah, we've been chatting on Facebook. And
Oh my
Zoe's
God.
convinced
You're
that he
catfishing
came,
people.
Zoe's convinced that he came to Canada because of the Facebook account. And somebody else at Gloucester at the weekend was like, yeah, we've been chatting away on Facebook. So like anybody
Have you
that,
found it?
yeah, I've reported it. I've even rang the police. Like it's actually quite
Oh.
bad because I'm actually quite scared about it. Yeah.
No one is chatting to the real Mo Hunt on
I
Facebook.
don't use Facebook. It is not me. Please report. while we're on Facebook, Matt.
We are not in love.
I'm not in love with anyone.
And I do not want your money.
Yeah.
If they are asking you for money,
Exactly,
this
like,
money is not coming
it
to the
really
real
isn't
Natasha
me.
Hunt.
There's
Funny.
like 3 or 4 accounts. Like, it's not me, guys.
Okay, so can we also all en masse go and report these accounts?
Yes, please. Yes, please. It's actually quite scary.
That is very
If someone's flown to Canada to see me, which I'm not convinced that happened, but the way that they were speaking to Zoe is convinced that they flew out for the game. So yeah,
Do they use the word monumentas a lot?
I don't know, but it's scary.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, and on that note, thank you so much for joining us on the Good, the Scaz and the Rugby. This episode contained very little real rugby analysis. We will be back with someone who has substantially more rugby credibility, and there will be actual rugby chat somewhere in there.
Who am I?
Can you count in Afrikaans again?
1, 2, 3, 4.
The Good, the Scaz and the Rugby has been brought to you in partnership with Vodafone. The Good, the Scaz and the Rugby is a folding pocket production produced by
Shira Kilgallen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.